Hey guys, Andrew Marsh here with DrewFit. I want to thank you so much for tuning in today. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you how to eat extremely healthy while not breaking the bank, because I know this is a big issue for a lot of people, especially when you're new to eating healthy. You see a lot of people get discouraged because the price of foods are pretty ridiculous. But I want to give you guys my opinion and my approach on eating healthy for relatively cheap. And the type of diet that I've been doing for the last 2 months, and this is going on 3 months, is my 7 food diet, where I stick to just 7 foods that I consume. So I keep it very simple. There isn't much variety. So if this doesn't sound like fun to you, then I wouldn't encourage watching it. But if you are somebody that is wanting to eat healthy and save money, I highly encourage you to start incorporating the foods that I'm going to be talking about today and shopping at the places that I'm going to be talking about. Now, I was recently researching on how much your average adult spends on food per week, and I came across the range of about $160 to $175 per week on food. Now, I didn't know at the time if that was a lot or not, but I broke down what I have been spending for the last 2 months per week, and I have only been spending about $95 to $105 for 7 days of food. So when I saw that the average was $170 and I noticed that I was spending around $100, I thought to myself, what could people do if they could eat extremely healthy and save about $70 per week when you compare it to your average person on food? You can invest it, you can pay bills with it, maybe you can save up for a vacation that you've been wanting. Do something good for a loved one. Whatever it is, guys, you can eat healthy and not break the bank. And I want to share with you guys my approach to this. And like I said, guys, I'm more of a carnivore type diet person, so if eating meat is not your thing, then this video probably isn't for you. Now, the number one food that I consume is grass-fed ground beef. Now, if you have a Sprouts grocery store nearby you, I highly suggest checking them out. I would say on average about 2 weeks out of the month, they put their grass-fed ground beef on sale for just $3.99. And in my opinion, I have not come across it cheaper anywhere else, guys. And grass-fed ground beef is probably one of the most nutritious foods that you can be consuming. For me, I consume anywhere from about 2 to 2.5 pounds per day. So on average, I'm spending about $8 to $10 on grass-fed ground beef. Now, the number two food I eat is free-range eggs. And I don't get my eggs at Sprouts because I can't seem to find a decent priced egg at Sprouts, but I am fortunate to have a Natural Grocers down the street, and I will only buy my eggs from there. They're free-range eggs, and they sell them for $2. And this price has been the same ever since I moved to Arizona about 7 months ago. You really can't beat $2 for a dozen of eggs. And I will consume 1 dozen a day on average, sometimes just 6. So anywhere I'm spending $1 to $2 a day on eggs. And those two foods are the two foods I consume the most of. Now, the number three food that I consume the most of is grass-fed beef liver. Reason being, guys, it is a very inexpensive food, and it is also the most nutritious food that I can find. I'd put that food against any food on earth. You hear a lot of people talking about kale and blueberries being these magnificent superfoods. If you put their nutritional profile right next to beef liver, they do not stand a chance. And where I get my grass-fed beef liver from is where you would least expect it, and that is Whole Foods. You can actually get a pound of grass-fed beef liver for $8. And I'm only consuming about 1 ounce to 4 ounces every other day of beef liver. So really a pound or a pound and a half can last me anywhere from 2 to 3 weeks. Now, I don't know what it breaks down to on a daily expense, but I do know that it is very inexpensive and it is very nutritious. So it's really a win-win situation when it comes to consuming grass-fed beef liver. Now, the number four food I'm going to be talking about is grass-fed raw milk. Now, a lot of people don't have raw milk in their state simply because it's illegal, but I'm fortunate enough to live in a state where I can consume it. Now, this is probably the most expensive item that I get. It's about $7.50 for a half gallon, but because I do have it at my disposal, I will buy this product. And I'm willing to pay extra for it just because I don't want to be missing out on those nutrients when I can actually get them. And I would actually argue that raw milk is probably the second, if not the first, most nutritious food that you can be consuming, in my opinion. And I usually only consume anywhere from about a half cup to a full cup, depending on my activity levels, of raw milk. And I won't do it every single day simply because I'm trying to spread it out. So I'll probably finish a half gallon in a week and a half or every 2 weeks. So again, I don't consume it a lot. If I did have an endless supply of money, I'd probably be doing a half gallon like every 2 days. The number 5 food that I consume is going to be wild rice. Now, there's a ton of brands out there, and we all know how inexpensive rice is, but I highly encourage people getting an organic rice, one that's not sprayed with a bunch of crap. So I pay about $6 for a bag of Lundberg wild rice, and I think it comes with about 10 servings, and I won't do too much of it, but I will probably do one serving probably 3 to 4 nights out of the week. And that one bag for $6 will last me anywhere from 2 to 3 weeks. Now, the number 6 food that I consume on probably a daily basis is raw honey. Now, honey is another product that can actually get very expensive. You don't want to get the worst quality type honey that's only like $2 or $3 for a jar. I just think that stuff is highly processed and is missing a lot of its nutrients. And you don't have to go crazy and get the $40 honey. I keep it kind of on the lower range. I get a good sized glass jar at Sprouts for about $10. And I will keep my consumption to about 1 tablespoon in the evening hours before I go to bed. I notice that that helps me a lot with sleep. And I'm going to say the last 3 things I'm going to be talking about, your normal keto or carnivore type person wouldn't recommend because they want to stay in a state of ketosis and they think that's the best way to achieve health. I have different opinion on that. I think that the liver stores glycogen for a reason and our brain runs on glucose for a reason. Now, are we abusing glucose? Absolutely. So I think it does have a time and a place. You just have to be strategic with it. So yes, honey can be a little bit expensive, but keep your consumption a little bit lower, maybe just 1 teaspoon or 1 tablespoon per night. I know it's addicting, so you don't want to go overboard, or else you'll notice you went through a half jar in about 2 or 3 days. So be smart with your consumption when you're trying to save money and eat healthy. Now, the number 7 food that I get is ice cream, specifically Tillamook vanilla bean ice cream. It's been on sale at Sprouts for I think $4 or $5. And it is a huge container. I don't remember how much is in there, but it lasts me anywhere from about a week to a week and a half, considering I have about 3 or 4 carb nights that week. So again, very inexpensive. And really, this brings my total, if I were to get all of those foods in 1 week, it would probably bring my total upwards of the $105 mark. But seeing that the average was $173, I'm actually pretty stoked that I have found a diet that is consistent. It's nutritious, it's delicious, and I'm actually saving money. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any questions or comments, please drop them below. I will always reply to you guys, and please don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching.